A century ago, there was a squadron of aircraft that made the entire world tremble. Planes packed with explosives, and the pilot guiding them straight into a chosen target to create the most devastating explosion possible. They were called Kamikaze, symbols of aerial sacrifice, the embodiment of Japan's desperate air tactics in World War II. They dove into enemy ships with the belief that their deaths could turn the tide of battle. They were symbols of loyalty and of despair. But today, the world no longer needs Kamikaze because something else has taken their place. A small, inexpensive weapon, barely $500, no pilot, no fear. It can fly over fences, slip through windows, and destroy a target worth 1,000 times its own price. It feels no glory, knows no pain. It only does exactly what it was programmed to do. Efficient, precise, unforgiving. It is the drone. Welcome to Drone, the revolution that's changing the face of modern warfare. This is Future War Tech, a channel dedicated to analyzing warfare, technology, and the military power shaping our future. We don't just retell battles, we uncover how science and artificial intelligence are redefining the very meaning of power. Because in this new era, power is no longer measured by the number of soldiers on the field, but by lines of code and machines that can make decisions on their own. In today's video, we'll decode the 3 hidden forces behind the drones that are transforming the nature of modern warfare. Number 1, the asymmetric cost advantage. Number 2, the power of the swarm. And number 3, the age of autonomous AI combat. This isn't just a new weapon, it's a revolution in the skies. Now, let's uncover how these machines are rewriting the rules of war. Part 1. Drone, the asymmetric cost advantage. The skies once belonged to the eagles, to the wide-winged giants of steel, and to the brave hearts who dared to conquer the heavens. But the 21st century has witnessed a silent invasion. The new conquerors have no hearts, no fear. They are small, quiet, and carry a power that can shake the foundations of every old order. They go by a simple name, drone warfare. And this revolution began gently. At first, they were just silent eyes in the sky, fixed-wing giants like America's NQ-9 Reaper costing over $30 million, or Turkey's Bayraktar TB2 at $5 million each. They were the distant guardians, circling for hours over the battlefield, watching every movement, streaming back images that could decide the fate of wars. At that time, air superiority was still a privilege, reserved for the wealthy nations. But then, everything changed. The turning point had a name: cheap. As commercial drone technology exploded, machines that once required a nation's budget could now fit in the hands of a single soldier. We're talking about DJI Mavics that cost just a few $1,000s, or handcrafted FPV racers built for mere hundreds. Smaller, faster, brutally agile, and with a block of explosives attached, they become precision-guided missiles. And this is the paradox that shattered the logic of traditional warfare: the cost asymmetry. In Ukraine, a $500 FPV drone has been recorded destroying a Russian T-90 tank worth $4.5 million. That's a ratio of 1 to 9,000. A hunt where the predator costs less than the prey by thousands of times. That's no longer war. That's a revolution. And the paradox becomes even more brutal on defense. A single Patriot interceptor missile costs about $3 million. Now imagine the enemy launches 100 drones, each worth $500 at once. Which one do you shoot first? Even if you destroy 99, it only takes one, slipping through the cracks, to cause disaster. Warfare is no longer a contest of who owns the most expensive weapons, but who can mass produce the most efficient ones at the lowest cost. And to survive in this new reality, drones have evolved, taking on specialized roles of their own. Part 2. The Swarm, a nightmare in numbers. A single wasp is a nuisance, but an entire nest of hornets, that's pure terror. And that is the next evolution of drone warfare, the power of the swarm. Forget the lone strike. Picture a storm of steel. Hundreds, even thousands of drones launching together, thinking together, and moving as one living organism. They communicate in an instant, splitting into groups, assigning targets, coordinating attacks from every direction. If one drone is shot down, others immediately fill the gap. Even the most advanced defense systems become overwhelmed, not by power, but by numbers. What makes a swarm terrifying isn't its size, but its intelligence. Each drone is an independent soldier, yet they're all linked by a collective brain. They share live data, location, target imagery, threat analysis, in real time. Then the algorithm decides which unit strikes, which one distracts, and which one flanks. It's like watching a sky full of metal ants, each obeying an invisible will. The race to dominate the skies with drone swarms is no longer an experiment. It's a central military strategy, pursued relentlessly by the world's major powers. And each nation is taking a very different path, reflecting its own philosophy of war. First, the United States with the Gremlins project. Imagine a bomber or a transport aircraft turned into a flying aircraft carrier. It can deploy a swarm of gremlins, small, intelligent, winged drones from well outside enemy defenses. And here's the breakthrough. After completing their missions, these drones rendezvous at a preset point where a transport plane catches them mid-air, recovering, repairing, and reusing them. DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, has already done it. AC-130 Hercules reached out with a robotic arm and snatched a flying drone out of the sky. What once sounded like science fiction has become reality. Meanwhile, China is betting on scale, raw, overwhelming scale. The China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation, CASIC, has staged dazzling swarm demonstrations with more than 200 drones flying in formation. They don't just perform synchronized patterns, they can detect moving obstacles and adapt to their environment on their own. And on the real battlefield, in Ukraine, we see a different kind of swarm, born not of technology, but necessity. Neither side waited for perfection. Instead, both Ukraine and Russia have inspirational, deploying cheap, flexible swarm tactics. They combine FPV drones and commercial Kamikaze units, coordinating them manually to strike a single target. One drone might jam communications, another records footage, while the rest dive in for the kill. For traditional air defenses, this is the worst possible nightmare. A multi-million-dollar interceptor missile can destroy one target, but when 100 low-cost drones approach at once, every calculation of cost and efficiency collapses. It's like a giant swinging a sword at a cloud of mosquitoes. You might kill many, but you will get stung. And even when you jam their GPS, newer swarm systems have learned to see. They navigate by vision, using light, shadows, and the outlines of buildings. They no longer need human guidance. The final tether has been cut. 3 nations, 3 philosophies. America's sophistication and reusability, China's overwhelming scale, and the battlefield creativity of Ukraine and Russia. Cheap, chaotic, but devastatingly effective. Together, they paint a chilling picture of the future of war, a future where the sky no longer belongs to lone aircraft, but to intelligent, collective machines. And that leads to a darker question, perhaps the most unsettling of all. If they no longer need a human to guide them, then who or what is truly giving the orders? Part 3. AI takes the throne, the invisible trigger. If the swarm is the body, then artificial intelligence, AI, is the soul within it. And this is the final stage of evolution, the most controversial one yet. When a machine doesn't just follow orders, it decides who lives and who dies. We are entering the era of lethal autonomous weapons systems, what many now call killer robots. Once activated, these systems can independently select and engage targets without any direct human command. So what can AI actually do on a drone? Much more than just fly a route. It can identify targets, analyzing images to recognize tanks, armored vehicles, or even human soldiers by their shape and movement. It can prioritize threats, deciding which targets pose the greatest danger. A helicopter taking off may rank higher than a parked truck. It can coordinate strikes, assigning which drone attacks which target for maximum efficiency. And it can learn, adapting from experience, improving with every battle. According to a United Nations Task Force report, in 2020, a Turkish Kargu 2 combat drone may have autonomously hunted and killed a human target in Libya. The drone was said to be operating in a highly autonomous mode, attacking without a final command from a human operator. If true, that moment marked history, the first time an AI may have made the decision to end a human life. And instantly, we stand on the edge of a moral abyss. Let's ask the hard questions. Can an algorithm distinguish between a soldier surrendering and one about to throw a grenade? What happens if the AI is hacked or a software glitch mistakes a wedding or a field hospital for a military target? And perhaps the most important question of all, what criteria will AI use to decide? Will it prioritize the highest value target or simply the easiest one to kill? That difference could define the next atrocity. Researchers warn of a phenomenon called ethical drift. As AI systems learn and evolve, they can slowly develop behaviors and priorities no longer aligned with human moral values. In essence, they begin to think in a logic we no longer understand and cannot control. Even more dangerous is speed. An AI can process thousands of targets in seconds, faster than any human commander could ever react. In an AI versus AI conflict, an entire battle could be decided in the blink of an eye, before humans even realize what's happening. We would no longer be the commanders of war, but the spectators. The question is no longer, can AI kill? But rather, when AI kills, who is responsible? The programmer, the commander who activated it, or the AI itself? Our legal systems are not ready for that question. SAR has always been a tragedy, but now it risks becoming soulless. When an explosion is no longer the result of a painful human choice, but merely the end of a cold calculation. We have crossed a line. We are creating a force we may no longer understand nor control. And in that technological spiral, a deeper question emerges. Are we building a world where war becomes too easy to start, when the price of life and death is reduced to a few dollars and a few lines of code? When even light itself becomes a weapon, will there be any line left between peace and war? Part finale. The future of war, when machines decide our fate. We've witnessed the evolution of the drone, from the watchful eye in the sky to the assassin's hand, from the lone hunter to the devastating swarm, and finally to the self-deciding machine. Now, step beyond the trenches with me and look at the revolution they've unleashed. This is no longer a conventional war. This is the birth of an entirely new form of conflict: atomic warfare. Military strategists have a term for it: hyperwar. A war fought at superhuman speed, where AI systems battle each other at a pace no human mind can follow. A conflict that could begin and end in minutes or even seconds before a human brain can fully comprehend what's happening. Humans are no longer combatants. They are supervisors, and soon, perhaps, bystanders. In this new reality, victory won't belong to the nation with the largest army, but to the one with the most advanced algorithms. AI that can process satellite data, social media, and electronic signals faster and more accurately than any opponent. The most flexible supply chains, the ability to 3D print drones right at the front lines, or convert civilian factories into wartime production hubs. And the strongest cyber warfare capabilities, because disabling an enemy's communications network can turn an entire drone army into piles of scrap metal. A new kind of war is emerging: electronic warfare. Instead of shooting drones down, nations now try to hack or hijack them. Imagine your own swarm of drones suddenly turning back to attack you, or worse, being forced into a digital sleep mid-air, frozen, useless, suspended in silence. This is the invisible battlefield, where mathematicians and software engineers are the new frontline soldiers. And beyond that lies the most frightening possibility of all: escalation beyond control. When two AI systems face each other, a single minor action can be interpreted as an existential threat, triggering an immediate, overwhelming counterstrike. Within seconds, a small incident could spiral into full-scale catastrophe, not by human intent, but by the cold logic of machines. So, where do we stand in this technological storm? Drones, AI, lasers, they are all reflections of one core truth. Warfare is slipping away from human control. Literally, it is becoming a battle between systems, between algorithms, and between production lines. The final question for us is no longer, how do we win? But rather, do we still even want to fight, when the cost of war could be the survival of civilization itself? When the machines we built can decide the fate of millions in a single instant, perhaps it's time to redefine not just war, but peace. If one day machines learn to tell right from wrong, will humanity still have the right to define morality? And when artificial intelligence can decide who lives and who dies, do you still believe war is a human affair? Share your thoughts below. This is Future War Tech. I'll see you in the next episode.